Have you ever felt stuck in a routine, lacking motivation, as if life were losing its spark? I've been there too, feeling drained of energy and enthusiasm, until something happened that completely changed the way I saw the world. What I'm going to share with you today isn't some distant or abstract idea. It's something real, applicable, and directly connected to our everyday lives. These are teachings that reignited my passion for life in ways I never imagined. And you know what's even more amazing? This same awakening can happen to you. Today, I'm going to show you how these Stoic lessons can ignite a new flame within you, allowing you to see life from a completely renewed perspective. Many people are without hope, lacking the will to keep going, just as I once was. But through these teachings, you'll find a path to transform everything. I just ask one thing from you: stay with me for the next few minutes. I guarantee that by the end of this video, you'll leave with a completely different feeling. Let's begin with the secret of small pleasures. I want to share with you how I learned to appreciate these moments and how you can apply them to your life as well. Believe me, once you start integrating these practices into your daily routine, you'll never look back. It all starts with those precious moments of peace, those brief instants when you allow yourself to simply exist. For me, these moments usually happen in the morning, when the world is still asleep, and all I can hear is the soft awakening of life. I sit on the porch with a warm cup of coffee in my hands, letting the calmness surround me. It's in these moments that my mind quiets, and my worries fade away, creating space to simply be present. Life, however, isn't made up solely of solitary moments. It's also about cherishing human connections. I remember a recent gathering with my grandparents, where we delved into deep conversations. We talked about daring dreams, reflections from youth, and how time shapes our perspectives. It was a reminder that human relationships are treasures, and we should always strive to nurture them. And favorite foods. Oh, that's something I could talk about for hours. There's nothing like the first bite of a dish you love to make you feel truly alive. Whether it's a sophisticated plate of Italian pasta or a simple homemade pizza, each bite is a little burst of happiness. I remember once preparing a special meal for my loved ones, and seeing the joy on their faces was as rewarding as the taste of the food itself. But the beauty of life isn't just on the plate, it's also in the nature that surrounds us. A walk through a park, or simply sitting by a river, can do wonders for our soul. I recall a time when I got lost in a field and, while exploring, found a clearing bathed in sunlight. The sound of dry leaves under my feet as I walked through that peaceful refuge made me realize that beauty is everywhere. We just need to take the time to appreciate it. Enjoying these small things is essential for a full and satisfying life. Whether it's reading a good book, listening to soft music, or gazing at the stars on a clear night, these little moments feed our soul in a way few things can. As the philosopher Epictetus said, small annoyances and frustrations often become big problems because we give them more importance than they deserve. So focus on what's within your control and accept, with serenity, what isn't. Valuing these small pleasures is something we can all do, and it's a choice I make every day. Love who you are. One of the greatest lessons I've learned in life is the profound value of self-love. This love functions like a beacon, illuminating our path through emotional storms and the daily challenges we face, guiding us with firmness and clarity. But how do we cultivate something so essential? Let me share the journey I've taken. It all starts with recognizing and accepting my emotions. In the past, I hid behind a mask of strength. Today, if I'm sad, I accept that sadness. If I'm angry, I give space for that anger to exist. There are no wrong emotions. All are valid and deserve to be felt. When I allowed myself to fully experience these emotions, the process of forgiving myself became natural. Forgiving myself for the mistakes I've made was liberating. I realized that I don't have to be perfect. We all make mistakes, and that's part of the human experience. Holding on to guilt only prolonged my suffering. So why not forgive myself and let that weight go? I learned that forgiveness isn't a gift we give to others, but something we give to ourselves. However, self-compassion goes beyond forgiveness. It's about developing a deep understanding of who we are. Acknowledging my struggles and challenges with kindness and empathy, instead of criticizing myself for my weaknesses, has been fundamental to my growth process. I choose to be kind to myself in the same way I would be to a dear friend going through a tough time. Practicing self-compassion daily has transformed how I handle obstacles. When I face difficulties, rather than blaming myself for not being enough, I remind myself that I'm doing the best I can within the circumstances. When I fail, instead of punishing myself, I offer comfort and encouragement to move forward. This compassionate approach has truly transformed my perspective on life. Imperfection and personal growth now walk alongside me as constant companions. As the philosopher Emperor Marcus Aurelius once said, "Choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel hurt, and you haven't been." The idea is to let difficulties flow through us like water, without letting them shake us deeply. Life is a journey of continuous growth, and every challenge is an opportunity to learn and evolve. Instead of fighting against my imperfections, I embrace them. I find peace and wholeness in this process, and you too can walk this path. Before we move on, I want you to commit to being present in this moment by saying, "My life will regain its color." Make your struggles opportunities for growth, and I will show you how that's possible. I want to share a personal experience that brought valuable lessons during a challenging time in my life. I remember a phase where my personal life felt stuck in a never-ending cycle. I found myself trapped in habits and activities that brought no satisfaction, with little hope for change. I felt unmotivated and hopeless. However, instead of giving in to despair, I decided to use that phase as a starting point for something better. That's when I began a deep reflection on my interests and passions. I asked myself what truly excited me and how I could integrate those passions more meaningfully into my life. During this process of self-analysis, I realized there were opportunities one hadn't seen before. For instance, I discovered I had a talent for drawing, something I had never explored deeply. I started drawing regularly, and over time, I participated in local art groups and exhibitions. These small initiatives brought positive and unexpected changes to my life. Another significant change was how I viewed change itself. Before, change seemed scary and uncertain, but I began to see it as an opportunity for growth. For example, when I was transferred to a new department at work, I initially felt apprehensive. However, this transition challenged me to learn new skills and adapt to a new team, which turned out to be an incredibly enriching experience. There were also challenges in my personal life. I remember a difficult argument with a close family member, something that seemed like a huge obstacle in our relationship. Instead of letting the situation deteriorate, I used that opportunity to reflect on how I communicated and how I could improve our relationship. From that moment on, I worked to be more open and understanding. A quote from Epictetus that became my mantra during that period was, "Adversity is the grindstone of virtue." Whenever I faced a challenge, I reminded myself of this phrase and tried to see the obstacle as a chance to sharpen my skills and grow as a person. Today, looking back, I see how each difficulty I faced brought me closer to my true potential. If I hadn't faced those moments with courage and determination, I would never have discovered the strength that was within me. What I've learned is that, instead of fighting against challenges, we can use them as a driving force. The next time you find yourself in the middle of a storm, remember that within you is an incredible strength that can turn any difficulty into a golden opportunity. The power of persistence is also something we cannot overlook. Who hasn't felt the weight of failure or the sting of rejection? The truth is, as painful as these experiences can be, they have the power to transform and strengthen us. They challenge us to grow and prepare us for future challenges. I remember a project I poured all my hopes and efforts into. I deeply believed in that project and gave it my all. However, the outcome was not what I expected. The rejection felt like a strong blow, almost like a punch to the gut. Even so, instead of giving in to despair, I chose to learn from that experience. I analyzed every detail, every mistake, and realized that failures are merely opportunities disguised as valuable lessons. When we face rejection and failure with this mindset, we are able to rise stronger, more prepared, and more determined than before. Learning to view difficulties as opportunities is an essential skill for growth. Instead of sinking into self-pity, I began to ask myself, this didn't turn out as I expected, but what can I learn from it? How can I improve? This mindset shift completely transformed how I face challenges. Every obstacle became an opportunity to grow, improve, and evolve. Additionally, being resilient involves seeking creative solutions, especially when problems seem unsolvable. I recall a time at work when the whole team was stuck, unable to resolve a complicated issue. I decided to explore new approaches, think outside the box, and to my surprise, I found a solution no one had considered. This new perspective ended up solving the problem, showing me the value of not giving up in the face of seemingly insurmountable difficulties. It's important to remember that even the strongest people need support at some point. There's no shame in asking for help or seeking comfort from those around us. During one of the most challenging periods of my life, The unconditional love and support of my friends and family gave me the strength to keep going. They helped me not give up, even when adversity seemed overwhelming. As the philosopher Posidonius stated, true strength lies not in the absence of difficulties, but in the ability to face them with courage and perseverance. Resilience is not about avoiding challenges, but about rising after every fall, with your head held high and your heart filled with determination. In the end, it's our scars that remind us of our ability to overcome any obstacle. So, turn your difficulties into opportunities and move forward with courage and hope. Living in the present is a valuable lesson I learned that changed my life. Years ago, I was trapped in routine, constantly anxious about the future and dwelling on the past. That's when I decided to focus entirely on the present moment. I began reflecting on what truly inspired me and discovered that my passion lay in creativity and helping others. Creating videos to share my experiences and inspirations is one way this passion manifests. Instead of being carried away by what others expected of me, I started focusing on what made my heart beat faster. I dedicated myself to activities that truly inspired me, like drawing and creating content, and those moments brought me a deep connection with my true self. Setting goals that reflected my purpose was a real game changer. Instead of merely chasing material achievements or social recognition, I started defining objectives that brought me closer to the life I genuinely wanted to live. For example, rather than just aiming for a promotion at work, I decided to invest in learning new skills that could positively impact my community. Even in the simplest tasks, I found opportunities to grow and contribute. Whether it was an honest conversation with a colleague or something routine like grocery shopping, I began infusing each moment with a sense of purpose and gratitude. Volunteering and contributing to my community became essential parts of my life. Helping at animal shelters or teaching young people were experiences that brought me immense satisfaction and a real sense of connection with others. These experiences taught me that no matter the size of our contribution, we can always make a difference. Adapting my purpose over time was liberating. Instead of clinging to a fixed idea of who I should be, I learned to embrace change and evolution. My passions and priorities changed, and that was something wonderful. The important thing was to remain true to myself and continue seeking ways to contribute and evolve, no matter what happened. As the philosopher Cicero said, life is like a play. It's not about how long it lasts, but how well it is performed. This quote always reminds me of the importance of living in the present and savoring every moment. In the end, by living in the present, reflecting on my values, setting goals aligned with my purpose, and finding meaning in daily activities, I found deep satisfaction and a true sense of fulfillment. Letting go of what's outside of our control is liberating. We cannot control everything in life, and that's where Stoic wisdom comes in. An ancient Stoic proverb teaches us that true happiness and freedom begin when we understand that some things are under our control, while others are not. Accepting this reality is essential for achieving peace of mind. Often, we find ourselves trying to control every detail of our existence, which can leave us exhausted and frustrated, especially when things don't go as planned. The first step to attaining true freedom is recognizing and accepting what is beyond our control. This ancient wisdom remains incredibly relevant in the modern world because it teaches us to focus on what truly matters, letting go of what we cannot change. Think about the situations that often occupy your mind at night. What keeps you awake, worried, and anxious? Maybe it's the chaotic traffic you face every morning on your way to work, or perhaps it's your boss's negative attitude. It could be anything that seems beyond your control but consumes your mental energy. Identifying these situations is a crucial step because once we recognize that we have no power over certain circumstances, we can free ourselves from the burden of trying to change them. For example, I used to spend hours mentally replaying arguments with my boss, reliving every interaction, trying to find ways to convince him that my point of view was correct. This cycle of incessant thoughts only increased my stress and frustration. One day, I realized I was fighting against an impossible current. I decided to stop trying to control my boss's behavior and accept that his actions and opinions were beyond my control. From that moment, I focused on how I could respond in a constructive way, aligned with my own values. Focusing on what we can control is a powerful form of empowerment. Your thoughts and actions are under your domain, and you have the ability to choose how to react to life's challenges. For example, if you're anxious about the weather forecast for the weekend, instead of worrying about what you can't control, you can prepare accordingly, bring an umbrella and a raincoat. That way, you'll be ready for any eventuality. Similarly, if traffic stresses you out, You can turn that situation into something positive by listening to an audiobook or your favorite music while driving, transforming a frustrating moment into an opportunity to relax and learn. Cultivating serenity is like exercising a muscle. Practices like mindfulness and meditation help strengthen your ability to remain calm and clear, even in the midst of chaos. Spending just a few minutes each day being present and observing your thoughts and emotions without judgment allows you to distance yourself from constant worries and find lasting inner peace, even in difficult situations. Freeing yourself from the weight of constant worries is incredibly liberating. Imagine the relief of finally letting go of the burden you've been carrying on your shoulders. By focusing your energy on what is within your control, you free yourself to concentrate on what truly matters: your values, your relationships, and your personal growth. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus wisely said, "Do not expect things to happen as you wish. Wish them to happen as they do, and you will be happy." Letting go of what you cannot control is an act of true liberation. It means freeing yourself from the chains that bind you to worry and anxiety and opening yourself to a fuller, more authentic life that aligns with who you truly are. There was a time in my life when everything seemed to lose its shine and vitality. Daily tasks became a tiring routine, and I felt purposeless. Everything changed when I decided to volunteer at a local animal shelter. What began as a simple attempt to occupy my free time turned into a deeply transformative experience. I clearly remember my first day at the shelter. The place was full of dogs and cats, many of them abandoned and in need of care. At first, the task seemed overwhelming. Feeding, cleaning, and caring for so many animals was an arduous and demanding task. However, as time passed, I noticed something surprising. Every animal I helped seemed to reciprocate with immense gratitude. Seeing a dog wag its tail enthusiastically or a cat snuggle into my lap was a powerful reminder that even in small actions, there is a profound reward. These moments of connection with the animals made me feel like I was doing something meaningful, something that truly mattered. The enthusiasm and joy the animals showed when receiving affection renewed my own enthusiasm for life. It was then that I realized something essential. Enthusiasm doesn't come only from major achievements or external changes, but is often found in the small actions that bring a positive impact. The sense of contributing to the well-being of creatures that depend on me helped me rediscover a passion I had neglected. I began to feel renewed energy and a deep satisfaction that spread to other areas of my life. This volunteer project not only brought a new perspective on what it means to make a difference, but it also inspired me to seek more ways to integrate these meaningful experiences into my daily life. I started exploring new opportunities to get involved and make positive contributions, not just for the animals, but for my community and my own interests as well. If you are feeling stuck or unmotivated, I encourage you to seek experiences that can touch your heart and bring a new sense of purpose. Getting involved in activities that have a positive impact, such as helping at an animal shelter or teaching someone something, can transform not only your life but the lives of others as well. Devoting oneself to volunteer activities, such as working at an animal shelter, can be the path to rediscovering a dormant enthusiasm. Sometimes, it takes a genuine connection with what truly matters to us for our outlook on life to transform, bringing back passion and joy. Giving yourself the chance to explore something that resonates with your spirit is a powerful way to renew your enthusiasm for life. As you commit to making a difference, you will see how this positive energy can be awakened in unexpected and profound ways. Another essential point for a meaningful life is to value true relationships. Throughout our journey, learning to build meaningful connections is an invaluable skill. It's not just about knowing many people or accumulating contacts, but about nurturing deep bonds that strengthen and enrich us along the way. Imagine these relationships as building a house. They require planning, dedication, and a lot of effort, but in the end, they result in a solid and welcoming home born from well-directed work. The first step in cultivating these relationships is to maintain open and honest communication. There is nothing more liberating than sharing your thoughts, feelings, and concerns without the fear of being judged or criticized. I remember a moment when, tormented by doubts, I decided to open my heart to a close friend. Sharing my struggles felt like removing a weight I had been silently carrying, and at the same time, it strengthened our friendship in a way I had never imagined. In a frenzied world where time seems to be the scarcest resource, dedicating quality moments to our loved ones is crucial. It's not just about being physically present, but truly engaging. I recall a day when I turned off all my electronic devices and spent meaningful time with my family. We played board games, laughed, and had deep conversations. That quality time strengthened our bonds in a lasting and powerful way. Supporting each other in times of difficulty reveals the true strength of a relationship. We all face challenges, and it was during a particularly tough phase in my life that a longtime friend proved to be a pillar of support. His words of encouragement and unconditional support were vital in helping me overcome my darkest moments. Likewise, sharing our joys multiplies happiness. When I received a long-awaited promotion, instead of celebrating alone, I organized an intimate dinner with friends and family to share this achievement and celebrate together. Cultivating new friendships and connections in the community is also a way to expand our perspectives and enrich our experiences. The world is full of fascinating people, and each new friendship is an opportunity for growth and learning. I remember when I joined a volunteer group in my neighborhood. I met people from diverse backgrounds and stories, and each interaction brought me a new life lesson, broadening my understanding of the world and myself. As the philosopher Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "True happiness consists in doing good." There is no greater good than cultivating meaningful relationships that nourish our souls and enrich our journey through life. So, what are you waiting for? Get out there and create authentic connections. The fruits of your effort will blossom in ways you never imagined. Another crucial aspect of maintaining balance in modern life is finding moments of silence amid the chaos of everyday life. It may seem like a monumental task, but even in the midst of noise and commotion, there is always a refuge of calm waiting to be discovered. It is in these brief moments of pause that I find the key to maintaining my mental and emotional balance. Every day, without fail, I dedicate time to meditation and reflection. It's not just sitting and closing my eyes, but diving deeply into an inner space where the tumult of the outside world disappears. During these moments of introspection, I allow my thoughts to flow freely without judging or clinging to them. It's amazing how the mind finds its own rhythm when given space to breathe in silence. By surrendering to this tranquility, I learn to listen to the inner wisdom that resides deep within me, as if tuning into a cosmic radio station where answers to the most complex questions echo in the silence. It is in this space of serenity that I find clarity amid chaos, where solutions to difficult dilemmas arise naturally. Connecting with my deepest essence through silence is a transformative experience. It's like coming home after a long journey and finding comfort and familiarity in the stillness of my own being. In these pauses, I discover who I truly am, recognizing my true identity in all its fullness and authenticity. Cultivating inner peace through stillness and contemplation is an art that requires constant practice. Just as a gardener tends to their garden with dedication, I cultivate my inner space with love and care, nurturing the tranquility that helps me maintain balance amid life's demands. Each meditation session is like watering the seeds of inner peace, allowing them to bloom into a lush garden of serenity over time. This constant process of introspection strengthens us, creating a space of calm amid the chaos of everyday life. To conclude, my friends, I want to emphasize the importance of embracing silence and contemplation amidst daily hustle and bustle. Maintaining this practice is essential for preserving our inner harmony. As the great philosopher Marcus Aurelius said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." When we dedicate time to nourish our minds and spirits with the tranquility of silence, we discover a happiness that transcends the challenges and adversities of daily life. Stoic lessons offer a clear path to enthusiasm and joy in living, even in the toughest moments. By adopting a resilient mindset, we cultivate the ability to find peace, gratitude, and purpose in every moment of our lives. While the past is already written, the present and future are still in our hands. From now on, I commit to integrating these valuable lessons into my daily life, living with more wisdom, purpose, and gratitude. I hope this message has been helpful to you, encouraging you to reflect and grow as a person. I also want to sincerely congratulate you for making it to the end of this video. This demonstrates your strong desire to improve and seek a more fulfilling life. If you enjoyed the content, please leave your comment. And if you don't know what to say, just write gratitude, so I know you watched until the end. If you're not yet subscribed to the channel, subscribe now and leave a like. Join us on this journey of learning and growth. It's completely free. Stoicism is filled with valuable teachings that can be applied to our daily lives. Therefore, I encourage you to continue exploring this philosophy that has so much to offer. Here are 2 videos packed with Stoic wisdom for you to continue your learning journey. Until next time, my friends.